Point of order, Stewart Stevenson.
I wish to raise a point of order under Rule 7.3, Order in Chamber. At 15:48 today, Douglas Ross MSP said in his speech, and I quote, "In my own area of Murray, we came closer than any part of Scotland to voting leave. Much of that vote came from the coastal communities from Birkhead to Cullen and everything in between." I note that the Code of Conduct for MSPs at 8.1.4 states, "An MSP must not deal with a constituency issue out with the member's constituency or region unless by prior agreement." I'd like to indicate to you that as the constituency MSP for Cullen and many other coastal communities, but not quite as far as Birkhead, I have not been approached for an agreement from Douglas Ross that he can raise a constituency issue relating to Cullen and other communities in my constituency, that area being in North East region, not the Highland region, which Mr Ross represents. Furthermore, Presiding Officer, at 8.1.5, it states, "Regional MSPs have a responsibility to all those in the region for which they were elected. It's important, therefore, that they recognise and therefore must work in more than two constituencies in their region." It may be that I've missed any reference by Douglas Ross to work in any constituency beyond Richard Lochhead's Murray. And at 8.2.2, regional members must not exercise particular interest in only part of the region for which they are elected. Finally, Presiding Officer, at 8.4.1, any complaint against a member should in the first instance be made to the Presiding Officer. But I do note that my potential actions are covered by 9.1.2, which states, "Members must not disclose, communicate or discuss any complaint or intention to make a complaint with members of the press or other media." So I'm only making it to members here. Would the Presiding Officer advise if he would see a letter of apology from Douglas Ross to me and the regional members who represent Cullen would suffice to close this matter? And finally, Presiding Officer, perhaps in addition, advise Mr Ross that it would be inappropriate to make any media statement that suggests he represents communities in my constituency in the light of his comments and participation in the fisheries debate today.